nice and flat, and somebody's helping me roll it out, aren't you? Welcome back to the 15th episode of this project here. It's this 1966 C10 to 2001 frame swap project. So we're starting out this 15th episode of doing all of the wiring in this truck, which took a long time. And then we also painted up a couple things. We finished the entire interior. We got the carpet in. We got the dyna under the carpeting. We got all the seals in and the sill plates. Got this entire front end on. So we made a lot of progress in this episode. We're getting so close to being able to do his first test drive on this truck. We're also getting really close to just being done with the majority of this project, really. So stick around and check out all the progress we made during this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, something new that I'm starting is being an Amazon affiliate. So I'm going to be listing all of the products I use in the videos. And if you're going to buy something on Amazon anyway that you see in the video, I would appreciate if you just use the link, and it gives me something back. I don't know how much, but I guess something's better than nothing. So I'm just going to link all the products that I use. If you feel like using those links, that would be great. Thank you guys. Take care. So I think we're going to start today by cutting a hole down here for the wires from the Holley Terminator come through. And then after that, probably put down the sound deadening all over here. And then we can start doing a little bit of wiring and just see how far we get today. I hurt my wrist pretty good. Alright, I got the hole cut out and I put the grommet in, and I also burned a hole in the middle of that because it's going to have a bunch of wires there. So the wires will fill this hole, and then we'll have a little bit of room to push everything else through, and hopefully it'll stay pretty well sealed up. Probably put some of that dyna kind of surrounding this also. I'm going to go ahead and try to push some wires through from the Firewall side. Okay, this is the transmission stuff here. Push this through first. Alright. Okay, I'm going to spend some time trying to get this dyna type stuff down. So I'm just going to pretty much cover up as much stuff as I can here. Just see how it goes. All right, now that looks like NASA threw up in here or something. Gonna change gears and move on to the wiring. Now, I can't say I like wiring, but I also can't say I dislike it. I kind of like to do like cable management and have everything looking really nice and tucked away. However, this is quite a bit of stuff, a lot of directions, just a lot of stuff. So just gonna start little bit by little bit here, and maybe I'll I'm thinking about putting the battery back here actually. So I'm gonna run a line up to the starter and the alternator, and then I guess the only other wires that really need to go to the front at that point are going to be for the headlights and stuff. So hopefully not too much going that way. Pretty much all the wiring is gonna be here. Then obviously need to go to the back for the taillights and stuff like that. So I'm just going to try to figure this out and make a little bit of progress today in this hour I have. So we're getting to it. Well, this is how far I got the other night. Looks worse than it did when I started, so that's good. Did I say I'd like doing this? Because this kind of sucks, but it's just a lot. It's a lot of wires, and this is the minimal that you need to run a vehicle. I mean, today's day and age, so much different. Anyway, okay, I think I'm going to put the battery back there inside the cab, which, you know, probably isn't ideal, but really can't fit it anywhere up here once I have the inner fenders in and all that kind of stuff. So I think it'll be just fine back here. It's gonna run a power to the battery there, probably ground it out over here somewhere. So I think that'll be my goal for today. If I can just get that battery mounted and the lines ran from the battery to the starter and to the alternator and then to the mega fuses that came with the kit, mounting those inside the cab. If I can get through all of that tonight, it'd be a little dent in this wiring stuff. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to pull off this header on this side so I have as much room as I need to get to the starter without trying to crawl under there and do all that kind of crap. So I'm going to start there, taking that off. On second thought, it's kind of hard to get to some of these bolts, and I have to take out this dipstick one. It might be easier just to reach down there and unplug or plug in what I need to that starter. It's just 2 wires. We'll see if I regret that or not. And if I do, then I can take this off at that point. I'm going to start by taking off this temporary wire I had there. Okay. Starting to want to take off the headers again. Okay, I don't know if that was easy or not, but we got it off. Just gotta take this off the alternator, and then we are all good with the positive wire out of here. We can run our new one. This was the old positive wire. Toss that to the side. We're not going to need this bracket anymore. So I haven't been recording a bunch of stuff, the wiring, but I'll just show you where we're at thus far. It's just a tedious process, but we have the Terminator X mounted up there, a couple relays and whatnot, and then we have the battery cable coming from the starter and the alternator, and the power line for the Terminator comes to this mega fuse thing here and then goes to the battery there. Have the battery grounded out over there. So I'm pretty much done on the passenger side of the wiring. Now gets into this big rat's nest here where I have to just kind of figure out where everything goes, wire in the ignition switch, the brake switch, just a bunch of stuff over there to do. So I'm going to try to just go 1 wire at a time, just try to clean this up and see how far we get with this. I'll do a little time lapse here. Okay, I need to mount that fuse box so I can see where all these wires are going. So I'm just going to figure out how to do that real quick. Okay, this might be a little bit over engineering or something just to mount the fuse box, but I'm going to weld these nuts to this side of the firewall so I can screw these bolts through from the other side. That way, if I ever have to take off the fuse box, I don't have to worry about all this stuff because I think most of this is going to be covered with the inner fender. So if I can just weld these on, I won't have to think about in the future if I have to take that off. Like I said, it might be a little bit overkill, but we're gonna go ahead and run with it. Here's what it came out like. I know, beautiful welds, but hey, should hold a nut on there, I reckon. All right, going to see if this lines up like it should. Okay, Okay, that's what it looks like. Just has the one screw in the top right and the bottom left. Here's what it looks like on this side. Just have those welded nuts and the bolts coming through. Give that a little quick spray of paint so it doesn't rust. And then we'll be good to go with the fuse box mounted up there. And now we can slowly start doing one wire at a time, trimming them, getting them short, getting rid of the stuff we don't need, just cleaning up all this, and we're making a little bit of progress finally. So this is the progress we made. About 6 hours. I have everything up there kind of routed, zip tied. Got these wires leading to the back, going through the cab there. Out here, fuel pump is connected. Just have a couple loose wires here for like the radio that we don't have yet. Got some dash lights here and stuff like that. Overall, it's probably 80% done with wiring. I'm gonna go ahead and put that new dome light in. So I have a new dome light here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in real quick, and then maybe put some fuses in and see if everything still operates correctly. So I'm gonna try to do that now. So I left these old wires in here so I could, for just this reason, so I could tape these new ones to it just like this, and hopefully we can pull these through. Otherwise, I'm not really sure how you would get these wires through, honestly. I'm gonna put a little zip tie in here for extra security, make sure it doesn't slip off. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this old wire now, try to get this through. All right, we got that through. Just gonna pull it all the way now. I have a clear cover for that too, but I'm gonna wait and see if that comes on first before I put the cover on. Okay, I think I have everything wired up to the point where it should start again. So just trying to think if I forgot anything. Guess we'll see here. Putting the ground on now. Okay, gonna turn the key here to accessories. Okay, I think our battery is dead. It says 12.4. Guess I can try to charge the battery up. Okay, I think I got it figured out. I think it was a ground issue. So let me just try it again. It did just start up. So let me double check here. So I added this ground from the frame up to the cab here, and that fixed the problem. So this rod was connecting the steering column down to the transmission, essentially creating a ground for the cab down to the engine. So the reason why I figured that out is because I was checking to see if it was in park by pushing on that rod, and it was really hot. So then I realized that that was like a ground issue. So I grounded the cab to the frame. I'm going to do some more redundant grounds later, but I just want to make sure that was the issue, and that was the issue. So we successfully got it back to running, all wired up correctly. So we have all of our wires ran nicely. We just have to test all the lights and do all that kind of stuff. Still have to wire in all the lights, but the engine part is back up and running. It's a big accomplishment there. So I've been doing a couple things off camera just because I'm really trying to get this to a point where we can drive it, and I've been doing just a couple little things here and there on some of my lunch breaks and whatnot. So the wiring is pretty much done on the inside here. We just have some radio wires and stuff there because we don't have a radio yet. This stuff is ready for the cluster to go back in. I also kind of hooked up the steering column here. I was waiting on this steering shaft to come in. So this is kind of linked up now. I haven't really tested it. I might have to take that off again when we get the kit in to do the the transmission selector from the steering column down to there, so we still have to figure that out. Other than that, I think this is going to work on the angle that it's at. It looks okay-ish. But I also took apart the cluster and I just painted this bezel and I repainted this thing here, just kind of cleaned everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back together now. Now, all this is really going to do for us at the time is have our left and right blinker indicator, the brights indicator, and some dash lights on there. Because eventually I'm going to buy a nice new like Dakota digital one. That's like $1,000. I just can't afford that at this time. So we're just going to use this, but the speedometer is not going to work. The temp gauge isn't going to work, but we have the temp gauge on the Holley Terminator thing. We don't need this gen light. We have a voltmeter on the Holley Terminator also. Same with oil pressure. Fuel gauge isn't going to work. This is really just going to be for looks for now, and then eventually we can save up for that other cluster. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this back together real quick if I remember how it all goes. I think that goes on first. Here's how this looks like cleaned up a little bit. It's definitely not perfect. I could have gotten a new plastic piece for here. It's like $50. Would have made this look a lot better, but we plan on replacing this anyway. So this is just gonna sit in there for now and look pretty decent. It's gonna have some nice LED lights in there, and we'll have our indicators and stuff in there. So it's really just a placeholder for now until we can get the other stuff there, but I think it cleaned up pretty decently. So I made up this little harness with some of the bulbs we're going to be using, just the indicators and the dash lights basically. Going to put that back into this kind of dolled up, basically just for looks cluster. We're going to put that back in the truck, test some of the lights and see how they look in here. I'm just going to plug in all these lights over here now. Okay, and then just going to slide this in here. Maybe. Okay. Well, we're hitting this thing here, so I can't get this in, of course. This was not that easy to get on, so didn't really want to take it off. Oh my gosh. This little thing. Okay, now just like hitting the whole thing. Like literally have to lower this down to get this in. Okay, looks pretty nice. Dome light works. The bright thing came on there. Nothing here. So pretty much everything is working. We have the headlight switch working, so if I hit this, our dash lights are on right now. It's hard to see, but I'll turn off the light so you can see the blinker. Here's what that looks like lit up. Looks pretty nice. Okay, so now that we got probably 90% of the wiring done, I want to switch away from that because I'm so sick of doing wiring right now. And I just want to get some more parts onto this truck because we have parts everywhere and it's stressing me out. We have a box of stuff here. This whole table is just filled with parts. A couple little things over here. We got stuff in the corner here, muffler, carpet, another muffler there. We got inner fender. We have this whole box of parts here. We have these bumpers and all this stuff under there, stuff in that box, more stuff up there, door, seat, fenders, door, just everywhere. So I just want to try today to get some parts onto the truck. That is my goal today. Clean up the garage a little bit, get some of this stuff just onto the truck and out of the way, essentially. This is the first set of parts I want to try to get on today, including the doors. So we got door hinges, and then these are pretty much all just door parts, the interior parts, stuff like door latches, door relays, window regulators, windows, and then all the bolts for all that stuff. If I can get this stuff on there along with the doors onto the truck, then I think we'll be looking pretty good today. Okay, I'm going to start by putting this little door latch, door check in rather. Okay, let's get these door hinges on next. Okay, let's see how this goes.
And today we're installing doors. Right.
Okay.
This is a door.
This is the door.
This is a door.
Well, you're dismissed. For now. Well, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, the gaps aren't good right now. I think it needs to come up, and definitely up a little bit for sure. But I mean, it opens. I'm just gonna put this little cotter pin in the door check for now, just to hold it. And try to put on this exterior door handle now. Just has a couple gaskets that goes on it. So it has this gasket that goes on this side. One for this side too, which might be a little bit harder because I'm not really gonna stay on. Alright, got the door handle installed. Alright, gonna put it in the door latch and the door latch relay. I'm just gonna put a little bit of grease on some of these parts here. Okay, and then we clip this piece on first. There we go. Okay, so I put these 3 bolts in now. Now I want to get the door striker back on over here and just see if it will close. That would be nice. Close and open. Let me get this door striker plate on next. I have no clue how this is supposed to be adjusted. I guess we'll just try that and see if it works. This door needs to come up quite a bit just so we can even try to shut it. So let me try to adjust this door a little bit. So it does open and close right now, but I do have to adjust it a little bit. I might have to rebuild one of those hinges because when I open it, it drops down a little bit, and it's because one of those hinges isn't really that good. So when I close it, kind of have to lift it up a little bit. I have to adjust that striker a little bit once we get the door seal in there and see where we need to put that exactly. But it opens and closes for now, so it's good enough. Also, I had this striker plate on backwards when I first put it on. So this is the passenger side, and this is how it goes here. You have these little teeth thing at the bottom, and this part goes on the inside. So I had the other one actually on it flipped backwards. So this is how it goes like that. Looks like a little sad face or something. And yeah, I have to adjust that and probably touch up this paint after that. Got the door on for the most part. Might move on to the window regulator next and see if I can get the window at least set in here. Okay, we're gonna put the window regulator in now. I already greased up some of the wheels here. Gotta do this back wheel, get that greased up. So this is gonna slide in. Make sure I get this wheel into this track over here. Okay, that's in the track. Okay, it took a little bit of finagling, but I was able to line these up. Okay, just see if it rolls up. Okay, it's rolled all the way up. I think I can get the glass to put that in next, and that should be it for this side. Okay, I have the glass now. I'm gonna try to slide this in. Put some grease on here first. So I'm working on getting the headlights back into this grill here. I already did this left side, as you can see. I'm going to be doing this right side now. And on that side, I had to take the headlight out of this little bezel thing, but I think I might be able to do it leaving it in on this side. I'm gonna start by just popping in these little plastic pieces up here. Ooh, actually, that's the wrong way. Okay, now I'm going to put these in the correct way, which is up from the bottom. Put the little spring down here. I might be able to hook this in. I don't think so, actually. I'm going to have to take this off. Just going to screw these in a little bit. Slide this one in first, and then that top one. Now with these pliers, just going to pry this spring up and over. Okay, there we go. Now I can put the headlight back in. Put these screws back in. Okay, now we can put the top piece back on. So now we have both headlights back in the grill. I got the back side of the grill all wired up for the headlights. Got this coming down over to the passenger side, and then have it terminated here with a connector that will connect to the wires coming from the fuse box. So this part's pretty much done. Here's what the interior is looking like right now. So I got this adapter on here. I'm about to put the steering wheel on. You know, we got the gauge cluster in there. I just double side taped this to here for now. Got the ignition switch in there. Have a little bit more of what the wiring looks like. So pretty soon I'm gonna put the carpet in, and then the seat and the interior will be pretty much finished up. For now, I might try to get the ashtray back in, this little cover panel, and maybe the glove box. So we're getting really close to finishing up this interior at least. Okay, now we can go ahead and try to get the steering wheel on. Well, I got the carpet out here in the sun so it gets nice and flat, and somebody's helping me roll it out, aren't you? Definitely might be some dog hair on there. What are you doing? So I'm just going to be painting a few things today. These are the inner fenders that we got that are brand new, but they just come with this coating that kind of scratches off easily. So I went ahead and scuffed these up, cleaned them up, and I'm going to paint them with that frame paint from Eastwood. So I'm going to do both of those. And then I want under the hood to kind of be all the same color. So these are like the pieces that are next to the radiator, kind of cover pieces. So I'm going to paint those with the same paint, and then just the underside of the hood. So all this matches. I'm going to go ahead and spray this with a compressor and a cheap gun I got off Amazon. Same stuff I use on the frame. So I'm just going to go ahead and see how this comes out. Okay, just got done painting all that stuff. I think it went relatively smoothly. Came out looking pretty good. The hood, some of these other pieces here. Here's the inner fenders. I mean, I painted black, so they look pretty much the same. They have a little bit more shine to them. I think I did pretty good overall spraying. I have one little run right there, which is kind of annoying, but overall, it's pretty good. This is the paint I used out of that cheap sprayer. I will list the link on Amazon because I'm now an Amazon affiliate. So if you guys are interested in anything that I use in these videos, I will post a link in the description. And if you use that link, it gives me a little bit of a kickback. I have no idea how much, but I guess it's something. Anyway, I shook this, but I think I should have stirred it. You probably can't see in there, but there's like it's like a bunch of thick stuff at the bottom. Probably the majority of the paint. You know, I sprayed probably mostly just like the thinning stuff, but just look at that, it's pretty thick at the bottom of this. So either this started to harden in the can, or I just should have stirred it before I sprayed it. I thought shaking it would be good enough, but still came out looking pretty good for these parts that aren't really that important paint wise. So I think it'll be good enough to go. Okay, it's time to struggle to get this carpet back in. Okay, I think I'm gonna burn the holes for the seats, the seat bolts, put those down, and then just try to trim everything up and get it to fit in here. Okay, now that I got anchored down with these seat bolts, I'm gonna start trying to cut and mold this carpet to fit in here. So I gotta get a cut here. Getting a little bit closer. So I got the door seal in on this side and also the sill plate down there. So this side is pretty much all done. Just gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and press on this door seal now. Typically you would start it kind of in the bottom in the middle here. There should be a piece that goes all the way across, but this one is the side we had to completely redo, so it's missing. There's only a little bit on this side, so this is where I want them to come together over here. So I'm gonna try to start it down in this area and see if we can get these two to come together right there. Okay, so it should push onto that thing all the way across here, but we don't have that ridge down here, but the sill plate will hold that. Now this kind of wants to twist up on us, so I find it's easier just to kind of give yourself a little bit of slack here and then just kind of start it, just kind of push it on here in a couple of random spots. So that kind of holds it out of our way and also in the right orientation for us too. Kind of pushing up on there. Okay, that should be good. So I was able to get the seat back in. So now the interior is almost completely done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go over everything I kind of did off camera. So we saw that we got the carpet back in. I got this sill plate on. We got the seal in here for the door. We have the steering wheel on. Still need to get a center cap for that. We have the glove box in, have the ashtray in, a couple little panels there. We have this cluster back in with the Terminator screen there in the middle. So that's pretty much it for the interior. And I finally got this linkage to work correctly. So basically how it works is it's a cable that attaches to the bottom of the transmission there. I can't remember if I explained this or not already, but so when I pull down the lever inside, it pulls that cable down and changes the gear on the transmission through another linkage down there. There's kind of a shot of the linkage on the transmission. I used the stock selector and drilled a hole in it to select or to accept that kit that I bought. Leave a link to this kit. It worked pretty good. So here's where this mounts. Typically it has a thing that goes around the steering column, and that's where that mounts to, but I just didn't have enough room there, and it just kind of worked out being like this here. So I'll kind of show you how that works real quick. So I'll go through all the gears here. It's in park, reverse, neutral, drive. So in drive, neutral, reverse, park. I'll show you what that looks like. Oh shit. Well, that was a really hard fall for this camera, but seems to be okay. Jeez, I thought it was clipped in. Touch screen on the camera doesn't work anymore. Anyway, we're in park. Reverse, neutral, drive. Coming back up, we're in drive, neutral, reverse, park. Now see if I can get a shot on the transmission also for that. It's probably not gonna be the best shot, but let's see it again. Park, reverse, neutral, drive. This stuff is dry now. We can get a better look at it. Looks like it came out pretty good. We're gonna start reassembling some of this stuff tomorrow. So I'm gonna start out today by painting this little bit here that's white. I gotta paint that black because when we put on that cowl piece, you can see that white under there and it doesn't look good. I'm gonna start by just painting that, and hopefully we can get that piece on today. I wanna do the inner fenders and then just kind of see where we go from there. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this passenger side inner fender in now. Well, after messing with it for about an hour, I was able to get these inner fenders all bolted up. Still has kind of a weird gap here that we might have to address when we put the fenders on. But here's what that's looking like so far. Got this side all bolted up. I did have to trim this a little bit to get around these brake lines here and the steering column, and a little bit up there around that shift linkage. But it's all on there now. Next I want to put on this front end piece. But on the original, it bolts here and here to these bolts here, to this hole here. I don't know if you can really see it anyway, here and here. But since I have these brake lines coming, it's hitting, so I have to kind of notch that thing out so it slides in. So I'm just gonna cut it basically right here and right here, and then that should fit up pretty nicely. Okay, this should slide on now. Okay, I think we can make that work. Just have to put the grill on first though. Let's see if I can get this on here like this. Okay, let me just put this back together. Okay, I should be able to flip it over now and get those other bolts in. Maybe I'll tighten that one up. See if I can get a grommet on here. Ugh, I guess that connection wasn't very good. Okay, just had to rewire that thing. Took a little bit, but we're back to where we were of putting this front end on. Oh, definitely heavier now. All right. That's the first look with the front end on. Looks pretty cool, I think. It's kind of aimed down, so I have to play with it a little bit. Okay, I just set these up here for now. I'm going to go ahead and bolt these in. This is like this radiator cover on the left, on the right, and the hood hinge.
Done. Next. What's next?
Hood hinges, and then that piece that goes behind the hood.
tighten one. Did this one? You can just have me come do stuff like this. I like this. I like that.
Okay, just gonna put the hood hinges on next. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, let's try and get this spring on. Well, that one went a little bit better than the first one. Next thing I want to do is put on this, I don't know, windshield cowl piece here. So I'm just going to put this on, line up the tabs. Okay, I'm going to get my seal. Okay, just going to slide this seal in here. Another piece down. I'm gonna try to put the bumper on now. This says right mount. I don't know if that means like right hand or if you're looking at it. I guess we'll figure it out. So we were able to get that front bumper on. It did take a little bit of messing around with the bracket. I had to bore out some of the holes a little bit, but it's on there. So front end is pretty much done. So at this point, I think I'll just kind of review what we did in this episode and end it here. So we start here in the front end. We got this front end all on. We got it wired up. Headlights are good. I just need to finish doing this little bit of wiring here. Well, we painted these inner fenders and then we also got them all installed. I did have to trim this one up a little bit. We got some of this front end stuff installed here. Got the hood hinges on. We got that cowl on with the new seal. We got the shift linkage working properly. We got the steering column working and had got that linkage all up and running. The biggest project of this episode is we got the entire interior done along with all the wiring. So the interior is, well, it's almost completely done. You still have to buy a radio and put that in. But we got this all pretty much done. We got that door on. We got the door seals in. We got the sill plates in down here. So did quite a bit in this episode. Got it almost ready for a test drive. Really, if I just bleed the brakes, I can pretty much go for a test drive. So in the next episode, we'll definitely be doing a test drive. So to put this rear bumper on, I had to order some more door hinges to get the doors on properly since a couple of them were not good anymore. So we gotta once we put those doors on, we can put the fenders on and we can put these sail panels on, and then we still have to mess with the bed and all that stuff. Here's the hood that we painted up. So I still have to run some wires for this, for the running lights and turn signals. I can put the hood back on and then the front end is officially done. So that's the progress we made there. The next episode will be just fitting on more of these panels, finishing up a couple little things and going for a test drive. So I'm excited about that. We still don't have an exhaust, so that's gonna be kind of annoying. And it might also mess with the Holley terminator since the O2 sensor is so close to the end of the header here, but we'll see how that goes. But other than that, that's how far we got. So thank you guys for watching, and we're getting so close to the end of this project. So stick around and we'll probably have a couple more episodes before we're really officially driving this thing. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.